Welcome all to my channel. We're going to continue on. I've got a whole lot of things that are just partially complete, which is really starting to give me the irrits, but I don't want to stall on doing things whilst I'm waiting for parts to arrive. So I'm going to start tackling the bulkhead. Now generally the bulkhead's in pretty good condition. I mean, we've got only a little bit of surface rust on the top here. No rust really down here. It's all sound. Right down the bottom here is all pretty sound. There has been, you can see straight away here, a plate that's been put on this side, and we've got the equivalent on the other side there. So what I'll start doing is removing the top bits. So I'll just remove these brackets, the entire vent systems, including the adjusters, and just work my way down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the cabling yet. I can remove that quite easily, and of course the dip switch on the bottom and all these other bits and pieces. So I'll get doing that now. So it's quite easy, just removing nuts and bolts. Pretty much that's what it entails for the top bit. Same for the steering, not much there. So I'll just provide an update as I go, and then when I get to this bit here, for example, where it's much more complicated, we'll see how we go. I'll film the way that I think it's going to be the best to approach that. So far making progress. We've taken the top components out, working on the steering now. I've loosened this bracket here so the steering column is now loose. The 4 bolts and nuts and bolts are out. So now that's coming out really as it should, fairly easily. Although I haven't made life easy for myself by not removing this bottom bracket here completely. Of course, it looks like interesting that there is actually some spaces there or whatnot. So remove that bottom bracket. And then this top bracket here just slides out. And then we've got that, which is interesting. And now we should be able to move this. There we go. And now of course I've got to take the indicator unit out. Once I've got that out, that comes out, and then we're pretty much done for that, aside from the back end here. The dip switch there, effectively this item here. And I've also removed the pedal assembly, which is just held in place under pressure by the nut and bolt against the shaft there. And now this whole shaft itself can actually slide out, and that actually belongs to this little unit here. So I'm just continuing to make more progress. As I said, I've got that off. What I'm going to do now is, the rest of the stuff is pretty much nuts and bolts that I've got to just take off. So the whole steering assembly behind here is all nuts and bolts. I'll be able to then slide the steering assembly out. I'll go move this around so it's facing the right way, but effectively I'm going to start taking as much of this out as possible. I'm going to leave the wiring right to the last minute, because I think with the wiring I'm going to have to take some time and label out where these wires go. Something's obviously happened here. You can see that this wire here is completely burnt. Let's see if I can get a good view here. You can see how there's no insulation left on that wire, so something's happened there, and that's coming to the switch. Alright, so we've made some progress. It's taken about an hour, not long actually. So basically all the mechanism there is removed for the throttle and the steering. There it is there, nice and gritty. That's going to need a massive clean, of course. And all the associate other bits and pieces are kind of like sitting here, and I'll get to those at some stage. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll focus on removing the choke, which actually I might use as my engine stop on the diesel. I'll see how I go there. And of course I've got the starter that I've got to remove also. And then I'll go back inside and start removing the other bits and bobs. Okay, wiring's all out, you can see. Still a few things to take out, but we're getting there. And here she is on the floor. Now, I did notice that, as I mentioned, pointed out before, that there was one of these wires that was pretty much burnt, which was part of the ignition wire. But as I come further down here, you can see there's more evidence of that. And there's even this here, which is melted, almost charcoal. So yeah, pretty much a fire hazard, and it continues all the way down. You can see here there's the same cable, so it's certainly shorted out, and it was putting a whole lot of pressure on the entire wire loom. This is why I think it's important to add more fuses into your wiring system. The bulkhead strip's actually quite easy to handle now. You can pick it up, turn it around and so on, like I did just here. So I've just had a bit of a closer inspection on the top here, and I'm definitely going to have to get something done with these this repair work on the footwell. You can see how it's just completely a dog's breakfast on that one, and the other side's the same. So I might actually talk to my mate and get him to cut a new panel for the base, just to completely replace it. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I thought the job was a bit better than there was some lug here that I ended up grinding off, but you can see it's just a water trap, complete water trap in there. So it's only going to rust again in a matter of time. So yeah, and then I'll see whether or not someone's got a bead blaster or something like that to see if I can strip this without having to do it by hand. But anyway, one thing at a time. So there you go, bulkhead completely stripped. Took a few hours, and I said the wiring's a bit munted, but I'll have to see what I do there. I'm really not keen on spending $400 on another wiring loom, plus I want to add additional fuses and so on, so I'll see what I do there. The excitement never stops. So anyway, I'll leave the video at this, and next time we'll start with the actually refurbish of the bulkhead. So until then, thanks for watching.